Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Wow, Africa nakupenda sana. We know when you hear that song, you know that you came to the right platform. This is the African Experience on Bold Move Radio. You are with me, Dr. HLAMI. I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host, MABUNDA. We are bringing you the bold moves as we experience Africa and we tell Africa our own way. Welcome to our loyal listeners. This is the African Experience with us. Woo! Tonight, we are flying all the way to Malawi. We have a beautiful guest with us. We are not alone. We're talking to Dr. Paul Fatch. We're gonna bring him on board shortly, but just stay tuned and be ready to hear anything and everything about the country called Malawi. Dr. Paul, are you there?
I'm here, HLAMI.
Yes, good evening to the African Experience.
Good evening, and thanks for having me on the show.
Okay, let me see. Mandla, are you there, my sister?
Good evening, my co-host, Dr. HLAMI. It's nice to be back, and welcome to all our listeners and viewers online. And first and foremost as well, welcome to our guest, Dr. Paul. We cannot wait to hear all about Malawi. So I'm very excited. I do have family in Malawi, Dr. HLAMI. Through my sister, the Mabasas have got their roots apparently in Malawi. So it's exciting for me because I want to personally know about this country. So it will be an exciting show, and I'm glad to be back.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I love traveling Africa. So far, I have been to maybe like 25 of the African countries, so it's almost like 50% or maybe more than 50% thereby. But Malawi is one of the countries that I like so much. And one thing that stood out for me when I visit Malawi is how friendly the people are. And later on, I know that, Malawi is known to be a warm heart of Africa, and we're going to hear a lot about that. Okay, Dr. Paul, who is Paul Fatch? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
My story is very long, but I'll try to make it short. Paul Fatch is a son of a villager right there in the southern part of Malawi, born from the house of an extension worker, an agricultural extension worker. And I know already from that introduction, you know where I'm going. So I was raised in the southern part of Malawi, where I come from, where I did my primary and secondary education, and then I moved on to Lilongwe, the central part of Malawi, where I did my bachelor's degree in agricultural extension, and then I also did my master's in extension, then a PhD in extension. But basically, I'm a family man, married to my wife Lois Fatch, and I have lovely kids, 4 of them, 3 boys and one girl, and most of all, I'm a believer. I must mention that I'm a believer. I'm a preacher. I've been preaching since 2002 thereabout, and I love people. I love people.
Yeah. No, I actually like the last part, when you emphasize that you are a believer. I'm actually, my father used to be a priest, may his soul rest in peace. So I'm actually also, the pastor's kid. So Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself. You said
Yeah,
you actually were raised by an extension officer and you became one as well. That is very
true, true.
interesting. Mm, mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, I know as much as you are from Malawi, but you have also traveled the continent. How many other countries have you visited on the continent and beyond?
I've visited 15 countries.
Hmm.
In Africa, I've been to 8 countries, including Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Mozambique, South Africa, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria. And
Okay,
be in Europe, I've been to 5. Germany, which is more like my second home, and then
okay.
I've been to Austria, Belgium, Italy, Czech Republic, and yeah, those are the countries. And I've been to America, and also I've been to China.
Wow. So basically, you are a traveler, but you always say there's nothing that feels like home, like Malawi. Wow. Okay. So, Mandla, did you hear? He's also traveling, but he always say, I always come back to my country, Malawi. What is your thought then?
Wow, Africa is beautiful, hey? And from all I've taken, and I think you being one of my inspirations, I've taken a liking to traveling. It is so beautiful, but like he says, home is always Africa. So it's so nice to hear someone who's well traveled, but always considering Africa as being home. And in this case, we are talking Malawi. So I'm quite interested. An extension officer, born of an extension officer. So the apple didn't fall very far from the tree in this case. Tell us,
Yes,
you can see
yes.
you are doing your research about Dr. Paul. You are very well known in the agricultural space, including food security, especially now with the agricultural advisory services. So, in the African continent, not only in your home country, please
Mm.
tell us about that role and tell us what is your vision when you are doing what you're doing. Because I listened to a few of your presentations and they're quite riveting, they're quite interesting. So, I want to know more about that.
Yeah, I've been an extension worker or an extension officer through and through. I've worked in the government for 10 years, now in the academia for 8 years now. Um, but I think internationally, I'm more known for the African Forum for Agricultural Advisory Services, AFAS, for which I'm the board chairperson. I've been more focused on uplifting smallholder farmers from poverty to prosperity, from hunger to food security, from undernutrition to nutrition, and from uh, destitution to abundance. So basically, my focus has been on ensuring that every farmer in Africa accesses extension services that are of high quality, that do not make the farmer to be vulnerable to lose his or her resources by adopting things that are not very good for his or her farming system. So, in that regard, I've been focusing more on the agricultural diversification
Wow.
as one of the key messages that can make Africa to feed itself, despite any calamities, any problems that may be experienced. If you fail to produce one crop, you use the other one. If you don't use one livestock, you use the other one. And life goes on. You're not affected. You're not pressurized. You are able to survive and do whatever you're supposed to do. So basically, that's what I've been focusing on, ensuring that people access extension services using appropriate channels, and also that the services that they're getting are of good quality. The services are there in the interest of the farmer himself or herself or the family itself without really exposing him to unnecessary pressures.
Yo,
Okay.
that is so interesting. You know, Doc, I wish he could come and do a presentation for my classmates because half of the class, their research is actually based on something to do with upliftment of a smallholder farmer and the impact thereof to food security. So it could be very interesting to sit down and listen and you talking, I'm sure, the models and all those kind of things as an expert and just to inspire and motivate them. So
Mm.
this is quite interesting. Your doc, Mina, I'm in class already here.
Yeah, no, and it's very interesting. And when he talks about that he's a board chairperson for the AFAS, AFAS is actually a very big, organization. It is an apex body of, agriculture and advisory services on the African continent. So it's
Wow.
something very big. And wow,
How do you
congratulations
how do you
on.
how do you register? How do you register already?
I think it's a yeah. Oh, that is very very interesting, and I think that is where I got to know of Paul, through the agriculture advisory services. Hmm. Yeah, I like it, and also in Malawi, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the different because they use a pluralistic approaches for advisory services, and probably we'll talk a little bit more about that. But okay,
Mhm.
where is Malawi? I know it's a very stupid question to ask, but I know we have a lot of people who are listening. There might be a child somewhere who has no clue where Malawi is. Where is Malawi?
Uh, I should start by laughing. Malawi is a funny country. We are in Southern Africa. We are
Mhm.
in East Africa. We are
Okay.
also in Central Africa.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it depends on where we want to affiliate ourselves. We sit at the heart of Africa,
Wow.
where I think the only parts that we cannot really register are North and West Africa, but otherwise all the other parts we are there. We fit in every part of Africa. So we are surrounded by Tanzania to the northeast, and
Mm-hmm.
then Zambia to the northwest, and then Mozambique to the actually entire south. The entire south is surrounded by Mozambique, both the eastern and western part. So we are really at the heart of the east, center, and southern of of Africa.
Okay. Hmm. And I know Malawi has a meaning, right?
Mhm.
What does it
Yes,
mean?
Malawi means flames,
Oh,
flames of fire.
okay.
So it's a country that is alive because fire is the beginning of civilization. As you know, civilization
Okay.
started when man discovered fire. That's when
Yeah,
man started cooking. That's when
okay.
man started the manufacturing and everything. So we are fire
I
as a country.
see. Wow, that is beautiful. And sometimes when I look at, the pictures, especially on Lake Malawi, you see the
Mm.
sunset. It looks like, flames. So,
Yeah.
wow, I think it is really true to say Malawi, it's flame. Wow, that is
Mhm.
beautiful. But Malawi is also known to be the warm heart of Africa. Why so?
This has been the case because of our history. We have been progressing under the pillars of loyalty, obedience, friendliness, and the like. And with time, we developed our own unique culture, our own unique shared personality, where we have friendly, and I should say very friendly people that will not pass you by without greeting you, that will
Yeah.
not just let you suffer in anguish, that are willing to help you when you are in any trouble, that are willing to talk to you, that are willing to cover you even when you are in social problems. So we
Mm,
are the warm heart, people who are friendly not only to Malawians, But even to everyone that comes, we're having situations where we have even been harboring millions of people from neighboring countries that have been at war. We
Mm.
are the warm heart because we are warm-hearted, socially, psychologically, and also culturally. We are people that are able to accommodate everybody and find a common ground to work well with everybody.
Wow. Wow. And I can attest to that. I've been to Malawi, and even when you go to the hotel, you enter
Mhm,
and lift everybody. People are so friendly there. I do believe in what you are saying. Oh,
mhm.
Manda, if you have not been to
Sure.
Malawi, I think you should go.
I,
You
you
should
know
go and
what? Now I'm thinking maybe Namibia can wait. Let's start with Malawi. Now I'm very intrigued because I always assumed to go in Amatonga. So Dr. Paul, in
Mm,
South Africa we've got different tribes, and Batonga it's what me and Doc belong to, and
Mhm.
we always pride ourselves as being humble, kind, all those attributes that you're talking about. So it's quite interesting to hear that there are people, as a people, who wake up and say this is who we are and this is what we aspire to be known for. So that is very nice. And when we are talking culture, I get interested. Tell me about the naming of the children. Is there any particular pattern to that, or you can just wake up and name anyone like we do? Since we have a lot of similarities, we do think about the names of our children. So I'd like to know more about that.
The naming of the children actually is inspired by quite a number of different aspects. One of them being that, of course, the main thing is that the father and the mother are the ones that have the major responsibility of naming the child.
mhm.
And we have names like Takondwa, which means we are happy. Yeah, you
Oh,
have a child, you just want to express your happiness, you call him or her Takondwa. We are happy about it. And
mhm,
then we have also names that talk about love. For example, Chikondi is love.
mhm,
So people pick those kinds of names, and we also have some names that are about resilience, like Tantwe, which means a rock. So you'd find some kids named like that. Now, the names can be chosen by the parents, yes, but sometimes they can also be suggested by relatives, the grandparents of the children and the like. For example,
mhm,
they want to leave their name as your father wants to leave his name. He would
mhm.
suggest that one of your kids should have his name or the name of his mother or names of the clan members. But
Right.
it has also been increasingly common that children may also be named Christian names. Like myself, I'm Paul. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that's a name that
Oh, oh, okay.
a
Yeah.
Christian name.
Yeah.
And but I also had a local name in the past called Mphatso, which means gift, as a gift to the family. So that's that. And now,
Wow.
if you look at my middle name, which is Falakeza, is coming from our local names in the Lower Shire. It's from my
Mhm.
grandmother's father. So I picked it from my grandmother's father, and my father also has the same name. Is Mr. Falakeza Fatch. So as I said, you can mix names based on quite a number of criteria.
Wow. That is interesting. I think it's very similar with what we do here in South Africa. Oh, I think we're gonna take a commercial break very soon. When we come back, we want to unpack more about Malawi. We want to know about the culture. We want to know about the food, but we also want to know about anything and everything Malawi. For now,
Yeah.
we're gonna take commercial break. Our listeners out there, don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned, and we'll see you shortly.
Wow, welcome back. Welcome back. The show is the African Experience with myself, Mandla Aventina Mabunda, and my co host, Dr. HLAMI. You know, our loyal listeners are here. We have Pastor Joylene, who's quite interested in the fact that, but anyway, she knows that you're the PK, Dr. Shami. So, welcome, Pastor Joylene. It's always lovely to have you. And then going back to Dr. Paul. You know, I nearly said I'm so happy that you started Doc because I nearly said his surname is Fatch. I nearly I nearly
Yeah.
pronounced it wrong, but I'm glad that that was corrected even before it happened. But anyway, back to you, our guest. Please tell us more. We spoke a bit about the naming of the children, and I still want to know more about the culture. Tell us about the food. Is there any specific dances, any rituals that you do when it comes to marriages, giving birth? We want to know about the cultural activities of beautiful city country called Malawi.
Mm.
Yeah, for on the food, we have a history. In the past, before the colonialists, we were depending on sorghum and millet, but with time we shifted to maize. So our main staple food, 70% of the diet of Malawians is composed of what we call sima, which is a thick porridge of maize.
Yeah.
And then we combine with relish such as legumes, beans. We have pigeon peas, and
Yeah.
then we have um, uh, other like beef, pork,
Mm.
fish. And by
Yeah.
the way, we say we have the best fish in the world. We call it chambo.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a type of tilapia, and it's very unique. It's mostly common in Lake Malawi,
Yes.
but it's not like everywhere we only eat sima. We also eat rice. We
Yeah.
grow a lot of rice along the lake shore and also in the lowland areas where they have a lot of rain, and that
Mm-hmm.
finds its way to the table. We also have another type of sima that we call kondole. It's made out of dried cassava flour, and
See.
it's common as well along the lake shore.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We can still hear you though when while you're still sorting out the light. It's still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's the food that we rely upon here in Malawi. But
Mm.
apart from that, um, I must mention that food, as we all know, is part of the culture. It brings people together,
Mm.
relatives, friends, family. They do come together around food, and there are some special meals that people make from different kinds of food based on the area that you have. And if we talk about the kinds of dances and the like that we have in Malawi, Malawi is, if you look at it from a distance, you think that everyone is almost the same because almost everybody can speak one language, which we call Chichewa or Chewa.
Yeah. Okay.
It is
Mhm.
spoken in Malawi, it is
Mhm.
there in Zambia, it is there in Mozambique, and I think also partly in Tanzania, people speak it, and also Zimbabwe. By the way, we have a lot of Malawians in Zimbabwe, more than 2 million or so. So you'd think from a distance we are all completely one of or so because we are friendly to one another. Then
Yes.
you'd think we are all one tribe and the like. But actually, we have different tribes. Some of the Malawians they
Mhm.
trace their origins from South Africa. Actually, we have the
Oh,
Ngonis, who are
okay.
warriors connected to the Zulu in South Africa.
Okay.
They have a hunting tradition.
Okay.
They have their own dances which show their powers, their military powers. They wear things like the clothes of leopards, lions,
Yeah.
and the like when they're doing their dances, basically
Okay.
to show the power that they have.
Yeah.
And then we also have other tribes as well. Thanks.
Okay. It's very, very interesting here. I see our listeners are listening there. I can see, is it Jeff Wild? He says, "Hi, Ernest Kasinja from Malawi. I'm following with patience." Oh,
Sorry, I think I can't hear you quite well. I'm trying to reconnect the sound. Hello, Shami. Hello.
We are back, and my name is Mandla AVENTINA Mabunda, and we are on the African Experience Show. And today we are talking Malawi. We are talking Malawi, and I see we have other people who are logging in. I assume they are logging in from Malawi. We have a Mr. Ernest Kasinja from Malawi, and he says he's following with patience. So I think it takes me back to what you had said, Doc, about being friendly. I mean, already we can see an attribute of of patience, and that is coming from Mr. Ernest, which is nice to see. And I see Pastor Strike is saying, "Hi, African Experience. Thank you." So very much for taking us to this wonderful nation. And he says he knows the chambo fish is very delicious. And he also is uh, saying he agrees and he concurs that Malawi is a very, 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 very hospitable and very welcoming nation. So thank you so much. And as we continue, I want us to talk about food security. I want us to talk about agriculture. I want us to talk about the climate. You know, we are having this issue about climate change that is affecting especially smallholder farmers. How are you currently dealing with that issue? That is always at the back, looming at the back of our heads as far as smallholder farmers are concerned.
Yeah. Talking about food security, I hope I'm back. I'm back, and yeah, Malawi is one of the classic countries about food security in the sense that we decided to go our own way when across the world people were stopped from subsidizing the agricultural production. We decided that we are going to subsidize and make sure that our people are food secure. So right away from around 2004, we have been food secure almost year in, year out, because we worked on the access to soil fertility improvement because of for soil fertility improvement technologies, because we know that low yields mostly come from the soil, poor soil or land degradation. At the same time, as a country, we are also into adapting to climate change, being that it's common to have floods, droughts, dry spells, and the like. So we have quite a number of technologies that our people have developed on their own, and others have been coming from research. And in the end, we have food almost every year round. It's only in very short periods that sometimes we can import here and there. Yeah, but really, I wouldn't say we import more than 10% of the food that we eat in the country. Most of it is local, and actually we do export quite a lot, both maize and also our rice. And by the way, we have one of the best rice in the world. We call it Kilombero rice. It's very aromatic. Most of our rice does not require you to put spices to make them better. On their own, the rice is good enough for you to just add the radish, your beef, and the like, and you're good to go without so many additives. We have the original taste for most of the products that we grow here in Malawi.
Wow, that for me is so interesting because here in South Africa, although at national level we are food secure, but at household level we're still having a lot of challenges. And one of the biggest challenges that our smallholder farmers really are still more into just sustenance farming. So we are trying to find means how we can commercialize them so that they can be going out to the markets and producing in large quantities. So it would actually be nice to sit and hear you engage with the class regarding some of the things that Malawi has done in order to get to that level where you can boldly say, no, we are food secure even at household level. That would be an interesting conversation to have. But anyway, it's not only about agriculture today. Tell us
Sure.
about the languages that you speak in Malawi.
As a country, we have, I would say, more than 40 languages, and
First,
more than 40 languages. Yeah, more than 40 languages, a lot of which actually I can't speak myself. And but the major one, as I said earlier, is Chichewa, or sometimes also called Chinyanja. It's spoken by almost, I would say, more than 90% of the people in the country. In the southern part, we have Lomwe and Yao, which have Mozambique origins. We also have Sena that side. In the central part, that's where Chewa are almost centered, and then there's also Ngoni in the central part of the country. And then in the northern part, we have the Tonga, which I believe must be related to your tribe, Shami, and yeah, because Tonga must be related. So,
yeah.
like we have got districts like Nkota Kota, Nkata Bay, and also Mzimba. They have quite a number of Tonga speaking people that side. And then we also have Tumbuka there. But then we have one district in the north which has about 24 languages, just one district. Uh, less than 1 million people. That's where the center of languages in the country is. If you go there, you need to be very careful because not everybody will understand you. So you need to find a common ground, a language that all of you can be able to interact. But that's the center of languages here in Malawi.
Wow, this is so more than 40 languages. Doc, did you hear that? More than 40 languages. We have a few languages here and it's quite interesting as well. I cannot even master about 80% of our languages here. I don't know about 40. That's quite interesting. That is so interesting. So, if someone was to come to Malawi, what would I need? Let's say now I'm quite intrigued. I love the warmness because I can associate, I can relate with how we are at back at home? And if I were to decide to take my next holiday and come to Malawi, what would I need?
One good thing about Malawi is that most of the African countries do not require a visa to come here in Malawi because we believe that Africa is for all of us. Actually, we are one. It's just these boundaries that we are artificially made. For example, coming from South Africa to come to Malawi, you stay here for about 90 days. You fly, of course. We have a central airport here in Malawi, Kamuzu International Airport or Lilongwe International Airport. It changes name sometimes. From South Africa, those are the flights. Kenya Airways always comes. We have Ethiopian Airways, which comes. We also have other smaller airlines, and also Malawian Airlines. We have our own airline, Malawian Airlines, which flies across the region to South Africa, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, even to Kenya. So you can fly. And then we have a good road network. You can actually come by bus as well to also, sample the neighboring countries. And then we also have a railway system that connects through Mozambique. You can come to Malawi by rail as well. So basically, you can use almost every means. The only a bit difficult one is maybe the by ship, because we are a landlocked country somehow. But despite that, we have a very big river that connects to Zambezi. We call it Shire River, where you can actually come by smaller boats, some barges, and you can come all the way to the southern part of Malawi. We have a separating some falls in between which you cannot navigate, but you find your way out and you get up to the upper part of Malawi, which is now the higher part of Malawi, above the lower Shire. Yeah. So basically, you can come by air, by land, and also somehow by water. There's no excuse for not coming to Malawi, and our visa is easy. If you are coming from other countries, for example, in countries where you require a visa, we have online systems where you can apply the visa online and get your visa right here on arrival. We are sophisticated enough to identify any possible threats. As a country, we've developed some systems, so we know our ways of still handling any situations. But really, almost everyone is free to come to the country and then enjoy the country, enjoy Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. Indeed, yes.
Wow, no. This is beautiful. I mean, even one of your students here, I can see Vincent Haleka says loud and clear, my lecturer. So, oh, wow, this is beautiful. But anyway, on that note, I think we are going to take a short ad break. And then when we come back, we'll talk more about Malawi. And I'm inspired to now come and visit, honestly. So let's go on a short ad break and then we'll be right back.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
So, one of the major features that Malawi has is Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi covers almost one third or at least one fourth of the country. It is home to one of the biggest biodiversity in terms of aquatic species. We have a lot of fish, which um, uh, actually endemic to the lake. Very beautiful fish, which people come from all over the world to appreciate what nature has in that lake. It is a source of livelihood for a good percentage of the country. More than a million, I should believe, rely on fishing from the Lake Malawi. And one thing about Lake Malawi is that it has an outlet, a very big outlet in the name of Shire River. What that means is that Lake Malawi has fresh water, not salty, fresh, such that you can go there and be able to swim without major problems. And at the same time, the fresh water makes it habitable also for the quite a big number of fish species, as I have said. So that makes the lake to be one of the most unique lakes in the world. And one thing about Lake Malawi is that we have Lake Malawi National Park towards the end of the lake in Mangochi district, which is actually one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And why it is like that is because that's where the biggest concentration of different types of fish, species of fish, are concentrated in one small area. And the people there are quite friendly. They interact quite well with the people from all over the world. It's very good and a very good place that you can come and enjoy yourself. To get to those places along the lake shore is very easy. We have a paved road that actually goes around the whole lake within between say 500 meters and 2 kilometers from the lake. You'd find a permanently paved road that you're going to travel for most of part of the lake, meaning that to reach to the lake is not a difficult thing. And we have quite a number of resorts, places where people can rest of different kinds. Some of them Western, others quite traditional. So you have no excuse really for not coming to Malawi. It's a place where you can live your dream as not just a tourist, but you go back refreshed, in high spirits, ready to interact better with the people from wherever you're coming from. And the lake apart from being a source of tourism, it's also a source of agricultural production. We have quite a number of irrigation schemes that actually pump water directly from the lake, and in the end create a more sustainable food, a more self-reliant food system in which people can produce their own crops, and at the same time they also have fish and have tourists who can also come and enjoy whatever they are producing together with them and together with their friends and families. So it's something that is a big treasure to the country the lake is. And the lake is also surrounded by quite a number of mountains, quite a number of mountains in very short distance, such that anytime you can move from an altitude of, for example, 1,000 meters above sea level and go up to 1,200, 1,400 by foot by just climbing a nearby hill or nearby mountain, such that you have a variety of experiences within a very short distance. So that's partly what I can say about Lake Malawi. And just to continue on Lake Malawi, it is not only just the food or the fish and the like. We also have quite a number of boat or ship trips that people can take. We have a ship that we call Ilala. I think it has been there for more than 80 years or so. You can enjoy. It has quite a number of deckers on it, the first floor, ground floor, and quite a number of floors. It moves a little bit slowly, which means it gives you a lot of time to actually appreciate the surroundings and be able to interact with whoever you are and have more about what Malawi is all about. And we also, of course, smaller vessels that also can move quite faster and take you to where you want to go a little bit much earlier. So the lake is one of our biggest pride, and that's why the lake is called, from the Malawi side, we call it Lake Malawi. And then the country is also called Malawi, meaning that it is one of the biggest geographical features that we as a country pride in.
Oh, wow. You know what? The passion, as you are explaining and talking about Malawi, is just tangible, and it's so beautiful to just sit back and listen to you talking about this beautiful and warm country. Now, let's go back to agriculture and extension, and where can inspiring or aspiring agriculturists or extension officers uh, um, get in touch with you if they want to know more about what you do, if they want to learn more? Do you give classes, or how does it work, or you are too busy to do that? Or what advice can you give an aspiring extension officer?
I'm not unreachable. I would say I'm very reachable. I'm on Twitter, as my Twitter handle is Fatch. You can link up there, and then I think it has my email address. It's Fatch, just my name, at gmail.com. I work at Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources as a lecturer in extension and rural development. I've been doing that since 2015. And apart from that, I also have quite a number of platforms through the African Forum for Agricultural Advisory Services. As I said, I'm the board chair, so I'm also reachable through that side. And I'm also the Secretary General of the Malawi Forum for Agricultural Advisory Services. So I have quite a number of platforms in which I can be reached, and we can interact with whoever who is interested to reach out to me and work with me. I'm on ResearchGate as well, So quite a number of my publications are there, my journal articles that I've written, they are there, and I do interact with quite a number of people. I have quite a number of students from across the world that are interested to take some of my work, the work that I've done further. Uh, I'm just like interacting quite during this week with a student from Norway who wants to use an index that I developed about agricultural diversification, and interact with quite a number of people. And I'm there really for everyone. I'm not yet at the stage where I can say I'm tired. I think I'll get tired when I'll be retired. So that's the only time when I'll be tired. But as long as I'm not retired and I have life, then I don't have any option but to be available really to serve the nation and all the people at large. But really, I must encourage people. Agricultural extension is one of the best careers that anybody can take. If you go out there and interact with the farmers, understand how they think. Actually, one of the biggest things about extension is that you learn a lot from farmers. What you learn from one farmer is what you are going to provide to another farmer. It looks like your own experience, but actually, in actual fact, you have learned from what a successful farmer somewhere is able to do, and then you make someone else to benefit from that knowledge that you have. So it's just like a bridge for knowledge, such that it moves from one area to another, and of course part of it you create on your own with your own ways that you have as an extension officer.
Wow. Thank you. You know, it's so
Wow.
nice engaging with someone with so much insight. Doc, what do you think we
Yes.
should do with all this information? I'm inspired.
Yes. Oh no, I am. I'm actually very inspired as well. You can see that he's very, very knowledgeable around issues of extension, but also, like he said, that the Malawi people are known to be warm people. They're helpful. You can see that Dr. Paul is actually so helpful. He's willing, to share his knowledge with other people. I really like that so much. But before we even finish, there is also one other question that I want to ask you about Malawi. I was there and we drove, to Mangochi, and as we were driving through, I saw a lot of baobab trees. In the area where we come from, like here in South Africa, I grew up knowing one baobab tree somewhere, but when I came to Malawi, I saw a lot of that. Tell us a little bit more about it, and why is it so significant to have so many trees there?
The baobab trees mostly grow well in areas that are a little bit hot,
Mm-hmm.
and that's along the Rift Valley. We have a lot of them close to Lake Malawi and also in the Shire Valley, and for them to be that many is because we do treasure them. We make juices. We call it malambe juice. Baobab, by the way, in Malawi, we call it malambe. So we have juices. So it's something that actually is a source of money. So you wouldn't just destroy it anyhow. As you know, it's a good source of vitamin C as well, and meaning that the demand from those who want to eat healthy, to drink healthy, is quite high, and so it has a knock-on effect in the sense that those who are keeping the trees are able to harvest the baobab, and then they are able to utilize them as a source of income and also as a source of food for themselves. So it's a treasure to the people there, and whenever it grows, they let it grow. By the way, baobabs, they take very long to grow, so many years. They
Yeah.
grow,
Mm-hmm.
a year, they wouldn't grow more than 30 centimeters. I may be wrong, but really it grows quite slowly. When you see a very big baobab, you are talking
Mm-hmm.
about 40, 50, 60 years of
Yeah.
growth. But the thing is that they don't just die anyhow, and they
Yeah.
don't easily get attacked by pests and diseases, maybe partly because they're
Mm-hmm.
quite high. So it's something that is a treasure in those areas, and they also don't
Wow.
really suffer from drought problems. I should believe they have very good root systems that enable them to
Wow.
survive
Wow.
even. Yes, yes. Yeah, so that's part of what I can say about the baobab tree.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much about that. And then now we are actually 6 minutes before the end of our show. It's actually 3 minutes. And I believe, before we release someone in our show, we always say, what is it that you would like people who are listening to you now to know about you, about the services that you do, and about your beautiful warm country? Pastor Strike likes calling it the parting shots. So I would hand over to you, Dr. Fachi. Tell us what you want us to know about you and the beautiful country that is Malawi.
Yeah, I would actually take this opportunity to inspire the village person out there. I come from not a very rich background, as I said. I'm a son of an extension worker, the lowest person on extension in the country, a field officer. But I got inspired by the work that he was doing, and in the end, I went through and through and became one of uh, the I wouldn't say key, but one of the helpers in extension with experience having worked in the government. I've written quite a number of concepts for the country, like the lead farmer concept, where a farmer can do extension to a fellow farmer. We have harmonized programming, harmonized demonstration, farmer field school, and the like. So basically, I'm someone who has followed his passion, I would say, because I had to quit working at the highest level in Malawi as a lecturer, an officer in the Department of Agricultural Extension Services at the headquarters to go to Rwanda, just because I had just a different passion, not that I didn't have a good job. So follow your passion, and in extension, passion is everything. Passion is everything. You just have to love the people and want to do something that can make a difference somewhere. And one thing I would also encourage the young ones out there is that it's not always that everything is going to be rosy. You are likely to meet quite a number of challenges over the way. But as long as you're resilient, you are focused, you're not moved about by enticements that are there to fight back ways that are not right, you are likely to make it. You move up and up, because with resilience comes experience, and experience is what one of the best teachers. And about the country Malawi, this is one of the best places that people can come to visit. Everybody can learn how people can still, despite the advances that are there in technology or whatsoever, people still have a human heart where they would want to interact with somebody. This is something that is not always present everywhere in the world, but we are glad that we still have it. Whatever pressures we meet, we still find a way to resolve them. It doesn't mean that we've never had problems. We've had problems, smaller ones, of course. We've never had a war, by the way, as a country, and we pray that we'll never have a war. We are one of the few countries in Africa that have never been at war within ourselves. So basically, it's because we have that in ourselves, that we are here to be warm to one another. We have a problem, let's sit down, let's discuss and find a way and transition the power without really any problems. One president comes, another one comes in without major problems. One party comes in, another party comes in. I mean, it's all about having
Yeah.
different ideas. Everybody can contribute, and we can all make our countries much better. And really, one thing I would say, there's this tendency out there where people are sick and tired. They are complaining about everything, but time has come that we must be sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's where
Entirely.
action is going to be done. Thank you.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, today on the African Experience with myself, Mandla Mabunda, and Dr. Shami, and with our host, very insightful Dr. Paul Fachi from the warm country that is Malawi. We have learned a lot about the Malawian people and the way they speak and the way they are so kind. And I hope we can learn a thing or two from this beautiful country and the way they do their things. They've never had any wars. When they transition politically, when they vote, it's always smooth. So I hope most of our African countries can learn from that. And on that note, I'd like to thank our audiences. I see your students are here. They are saying, this is our lecture. We love him. He's always reachable. So that is testament to what good you are doing back in Malawi. So thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you. And I'm sure that will be in our bucket list. Again, Dr. Tami, you've been there several times. You'll take me there. So, on that note, from me, Manda Wakamavunda, I say thank you. And then tune in again next week, same time, and we'll be talking about another African experience where Africans are telling their own stories in their own way. So, thank you so much and see you next week.
Thank